Hello and welcome to your daily lunchtime show where we catch up on current events and headlines. My name is Glenora Shipura and this is NMH at 1. In incoming news today, Namibia's founding president, Dr. Sam Nujoma, was welcomed by the Ministry of Environment, Forestry and Tourism, Pohamba Shifeta, as well as other dignitaries and people from the Erongo region. The ex-president joined an initiative to clean the beach along the Skeleton Coast. Moving on. People, tomorrow is Black Friday, and if you want to see all the wonderful specials offered by the industry, you need to make sure that you get yourself a copy of your preferred NMH paper, whether that be Namibian Sun, Republican, or Allgemeine Zeitung. Moving on to our COVID-19 monitor, let us take a look at today's COVID-19 monitor. Looking at our first slide, we see that during the 7-day cycle ended on Monday, one new case was reported among healthcare workers, bringing Namibia's cumulative total in this frontline group to 4,360 cases. The new case was recorded in the Khomas region. 10 cases were reported among healthcare workers over the past 4 weeks, translating to an average of 0.4 cases per day. The second slide tracks to the number of people accommodated in official quarantine facilities approved by health authorities, excluding those in self-quarantine. These numbers stood at 160 on Monday, the lowest since the 28th of March last year. During the past 7-day cycle, 305 people entered these facilities, while 268 were discharged. Zooming in on the regions, Erongo has 8 individuals in quarantine after these facilities were empty a week before. The 2 people quarantined in Khomas regions were discharged. Karas has the highest total at 61, while the number of people quarantined in the Mahege region decreased from 90 to 40. The number for Shikoto increased from 27 to 42. As always, we now bring you video clips from around the country. First up, the first passenger liner in many months has finally arrived at the port of Walvis Bay. Leandra Lau was there to record it.
We are coming to you from the Namibian Ports Authority here in Walvis Bay. The red carpet has been rolled out as the first passenger liner, that is Europa, is currently here in Walvis Bay. Reports are that some of the passengers will be doing some sightseeing in Walvis Bay and then later travel to Etosha.
Yeah, my name is Teremina Haimboti and I'm the owner and the manager of Daily Shuttle Transfer. I'm based in Walvis Bay. So I'm here in the port of Walvis Bay today to come and welcome the first ship after COVID. So I'm very, very happy to see the passenger line again docking in the port of Walvis Bay, because in the tourist industry we have been suffering for so long time.
How is this going to boost your business?
So I think this is going to be back to normal, and I hope all of us will start working like before. As I can see, all our colleagues from Windhoek, they are all here, and their buses is also here, so meaning the business is coming back to normal. So I'm very, very excited to see the passenger line docking again in the port of Walvis Bay, Namibia.
Miss Aimbodi, are you not worried about COVID?
So,
Because these people are coming from other areas.
yes, they are coming from other area, but what I know and I understand that most of them, when they are traveling, they already vaccinated, which is better when you vaccinated. It's not so easy the disease to catch you, and we all also vaccinated here. So and let us just put everything in God's hands.
Moving on to our second video for the day, the Secretary General of the All People's Party, APP, Vincent Kanyetu, talks to Kenya Kamwe about the tributes for the late party leader, Ignatius Sihomeni. He questions why people are sharing wonderful tributes now while not sharing the same sentiments while he was alive. Sihomeni collapsed in Parliament last week. His remains are expected to arrive in Rundu today.
I followed as comments and tributes was coming through social media and other different social media like WhatsApp and Facebook, Twitter and the others. I also share the same question as to why as a nation and people are we so fake in terms of living a fake life, a life of pretendence, you know, just as you are saying. We know when the Honorable resigned from SWAPO, first of all, he lost friends, he lost associations, he lost even some neighbors, you know, couldn't speak to him due to the fact that he left the party and all sorts of things were said. But when you look at the comments and the tributes, as per you say, and as everybody can testify and see now, as if everybody loved him. And I'm asking myself as to why are we doing this to ourselves? We cannot continue to be like this. We know some of the people who are saying to be have touched by the Honorable's death did celebrate when the Honorable was humiliated, you know, at a point where Honorable couldn't try to help himself. People rejoiced, but now these same people are pretending to be emotional and be touched by the death of the Honorable. But, well, it's human, but truly, to be honest, we are not doing justice to ourselves as people. We are not doing justice to ourselves. If you love somebody, show it while the person is alive. If you care for somebody, show it while the person is alive. If you truly care about a friend, a comrade or a neighbor or a relative, show it when somebody is still alive. Because all these tributes, all these love letters that we are seeing left, right and center, I mean, he is unable to respond or maybe acknowledge most of it now. This is why it's not only you, everybody, majority of those who were close to the late up to his last day. I even ask ourselves that why now? I remember some days in Windhoek, our founding Vice President, Honorable Madala, shared the same. He even asked it as to why are we living a fake life as Namibian?
On the front pages of Namibia's newspapers published today, we've identified the following reports that raise special attention. First up, On its front page, the Allgemeine Zeitung today leads with an article that focuses once again on the qualified municipal audit reports of Namibia's capital city, Windhoek. Jennifer Komali and Samuel Mwatonga lead the finance department of the city of Windhoek and played down the seriousness of the qualifications and reasons for these qualifications by the Auditor General, Julius Kanjeke. It seems surreal when the media was told that these circumstances needed to be accepted as part of a transition phase since 2016 from a founding accounting system to the International Public Services Accounting Standards, IPSAS. In fact, it was announced that the next 5-year period of transition is due to take place, that the municipality has made peace with the fact that they would continue to receive qualified reports as a result of differences in understanding of IPSAS between the Auditor General, which the media always regarded as being the one that needs to lead the way and have the final say, and the finance department of the city. If these qualified audit reports were not such a serious issue, one would be excused to finding this situation quite simply comical. The Republican's front page leads with an article that is just as disturbing as the qualified audit reports of the city of Windhoek. The Namibia Students Financial Assistance Fund, NASFAF, has faced the Parliamentary Standing Committee for Public Accounts and explained that they do not have opening balances for their books of accounts as there are no financial year-end records and reports for the year 2010, 11, 2011 to 12, and 2012 to 13. What is not only surprising but begs the question why the Anti-Corruption Commission has not gotten involved in order to investigate the state of affairs is that the current acting CEO, Kennedy Kandume, now uses this as an excuse why debts remain outstanding. He in fact now asked the committee to throw its weight behind an effort to get hold of these accounts more than 10 years later, and 5 years after improvements had been promised. The Namibian Sun also focuses on the NASFAF debacle, but warns that 100,000 students might be in for a surprise, as the NASFAF is apparently considering selling out its student debt book. Looking back at previous hearings by the Parliamentary Standing Committee for Public Accounts, where it was admitted that no proper records had been kept when the money was handed out to students over many years, it seems doubtful how the fund or any debt collector would want to collect money that was handed out without ensuring that properly signed and legal student loan agreements was in place. So it remains to be seen how much of the debt to the tune of 2.1 billion Namibian dollars can in fact be legally collected. The Namibian provides another update on the court proceedings in Kasane, Botswana, as part of the investigation and now court case surrounding the 3 supposed to be Namibian fishermen that were shot and killed by the Botswana Defence Force. It turned out earlier in this week that these people were in possession of 3 elephant tusks. Now it seems as though the BDF had been tipped off about the poaching spree that the 3 were accused of by a Namibian spy that has since 2018 tipped off the Botswana authorities whenever Namibians attempt to poach in Botswana. This was said by the Zambezi Regional Crimes Coordinator, Deputy Commissioner Evan Simasiku. On its front page, the New Era brings an article that holds a very similar red flag that was raised by the Republican earlier last week too. Under the heading, Vaccine Doses to Go to Waste, the paper focuses on the fact that Namibia is in possession of huge numbers of COVID-19 dosages, but people neglect to get inoculated against the virus. In the process, there is a danger that Namibia will have to destroy 268,257 COVID-19 vaccines in the period of November 2021 to February 2022. On the front page of Market Watch, you can read more about the special economic zones that are supposed to be key policy instruments that should support a policy that aims to create industrial hubs and promote technical skills development in Namibia. And on the inside pages, we'll be able to read up more on the following. On its page 3, the Allgemeine Zeitung focuses on the fact that in Namibia, there still seems to be a very strong lobby that stands against the legalization of abortion. During public hearings, many speakers feel that the government needs to do more to protect women rather than change laws in order to allow abortion. Amid controversy about a candidate brought into the picture in an irregular manner, the Republican on its page 3 now leads with an article about Alex Kavanagh, who was one of the candidates that had adhered to the normal processes, having been confirmed by the Minister for Public Entities, Leon Juste, as the new CEO of the state-owned enterprise Fishco. The fishing corporation has gone through tumultuous times during the past 2 years as a result of the fish rod corruption scandal, in which its CEO, Mike Ngaipunya, and the chairman of organization, James Houghton-Clipley, apparently got involved. The Namibian Sun on its page 3 writes about a virtual Africa Water and Sanitation Conference that was opened by the Namibian Minister of Agriculture, Carl Schleitwan, during this week. The minister urges Africa to invest in water and sanitation, as indications are such that 63% of Africa's urban population still faces challenges as far as access to potable water is concerned. The Namibian on its page 3 informs us that the police are investigating the king of the Onganjera, Johannes Yafeta Mupia, for allegedly running over and in the process killing a 3-year-old boy 5 years ago. On page 3 of the New Era has an article titled, Raccoon Africa says traditional authority granted access. This type of defense seems to be offered by the Canadian Gas and Oil Exploration Company each and every time they stand accused of having broken a law or disregarded a regulation. Their defense stems from the chairman of the Parliamentary Standing Committee for Natural Resources, Shekera Toeya, who earlier in the week took up the allegations made by a number of communal leaders who allege that the company had no permission to grab land from local farmers. Toeya, though, argued that the communal land board was to blame. Whatever it is, fact is Raccoon Africa time and again is found out to not have adhered to proper procedure, and each time blames a ministry, board or organization or persons for that state of affairs. No other mining company in Namibia has been accused of circumventing existing laws and regulations so regularly and still is allowed to continue with their operations as Raccoon Africa has. With that, we have reached the end of today's show. Thank you for watching NMH at 1. From me, Glenn Rashipura, please do join me again, same time, same place tomorrow. But before that, up next, the weather.